lovelies, as always, if you're returning, welcome back. If you're new, welcome to the family. As you can already guess from the title, today we are doing roast fish, and let me tell you, you're not going to want to miss this. So we've got our tilapia fish on the cutting board. They've already been scaled, they've been cleaned, I've washed them and everything, so that's all done. And then I have pre-cut all of the bits that we're going to stuff the fish with. So we've got half of a small cabbage. In the bowl at the background, we've got 9 okras that I've cut up into circles, 2 grated carrots, 10 springs of thyme. I've literally cut finely 1 stalk of scallion, half of a Scotch bonnet, half of a small onion. I've got 4 pegs of garlic there. If you want to, you can also add some pumpkin to it. I've got 1 tomato, the salad tomato that I always use, and 8 pimento seeds. In the back there, I've got the dry rub, which has a tablespoon of table salt, 1 tablespoon of ground black pepper, 1 tablespoon of paprika, 1.5 tablespoons of all-purpose seasoning, 1 teaspoon of jerk seasoning, 2 tablespoons of dried fish seasoning, and then we've got in the back some Excelsior water crackers. Guys, these are optional, so you don't actually have to put them in there, but I just put in a few because I absolutely love the flavour of the crackers with roast fish or steamed fish. If you haven't tried it, you just need to. So I've got 12 of those on the plate, which I will be using, and I'll show you how I use that when I'm done showing you all of this stuff. And that's the brand there. So we've got a pan on the stove and it's on a medium heat. So we're just gonna basically saute down the vegetables just a bit, but not too much. Obviously, once they get stuffed into the fish, it's going to be cooked again. So you don't want it to be mushy and horrible, you know, because that's not going to be a nice experience. You just want it to be nice and still slightly crunchy, but not, you know, overly crunchy, if you get what I mean. So we're just going in now and putting in all of those lovely seasonings as mentioned earlier. And guys, look at the colours. It is just so beautiful. It brings me joy actually making roast fish. So we put that all in and it's just on a medium heat like I mentioned earlier, and we just want to just steam it down just a slight bit so that we're able to stuff the fish with it. You want to add some of the dry rub seasoning to it as well. And so whilst it's cooking, you know, the flavours of the dry rub seasoning and everything is going in the veg. So the vegetables are nice and seasoned, and the fish as well is being steamed through with it all. So we're just going to go in with a few teaspoons of that. You can put less, you can put more if you want. That is your choice, guys. Like I said, I cook for my family, but I only advise you how I do it and how it tastes nice to myself and my own. So you adjust it to your own family and your own taste buds, or your friends, or whoever you're cooking for. Obviously, if you have children as well, bear that in mind. The amount of Scotch bonnet that I put in didn't really taste it much, because obviously, because of the quantity of vegetables that are in there and the fact that it's also going in the fish, it literally, you can taste it, but it doesn't burn, it's not peppery at all. So I'm just going in now with some butter. That's just to help steam down the vegetables. Obviously, if you leave just the vegetables in the pan, it might burn. So we just put a little bit of butter in there, get that flavour in, and have it nice and juicy. You can use unsalted or salted butter if you prefer. I've opted for salted butter because I didn't put that much salt in the actual dry mix. And you guys, you know, fish already is either hit and miss. It's either it's over seasoned, under seasoned, or it's just right. And we don't want it to be over or under. We need it just right. So the balance of the salted butter and that A little bit of salt added in just makes it perfect. For those who do ask, the brand of all-purpose seasoning and jerk seasoning and fish seasoning I'm using is Dunn's River. So that's the one that I go with. You could try others if you want, but for my measurements, that's what works perfectly. I just have to make you aware of that. And we're just going to have this on the stove for about 5 minutes, and just guys check it every so often and stir it to just make sure that nothing's sticking to the bottom of the pan, it's not burning or anything. And we're going to go in with a few tablespoons of water as well, just to make sure that it's, you know, steaming down nicely. Yeah, so guys, you want to just make sure as well you're spreading it all over, not just plopping it one place and that's it, because yeah, you don't want it just concentrated in one place. Remember, these are vegetables that we're doing, and we don't want soggy vegetables. We want them nice and still got a little bit of a bite to them. So that was 11 tablespoons of water, if I'm not mistaken. You can do more, you can do less, but that literally was perfect for what I done, and I'll show you in a minute, guys. Yeah, at this point in the kitchen is just smelling like Christmas Day. Look at those colours, it's just beautiful. Oh my gosh. So there you go, we've got the lid on. We're just going to leave that to steam down for the 5 minutes. Obviously making sure that we check on it every so often. And there we go, it's done now after the 5 minutes. I'm just going to transfer it into a bowl so it can actually cool down, because what we don't want to do is stuff the fish whilst the vegetable is hot. It's not a good environment for bacteria. So we just want to wait until the veg cool down a bit before we stuff. So now it's cooled down. That's the bowl that I've had it in. I've got some foil papers that I've just prepped for this. I've got my butter in the background there with a clean knife. I've got my water crackers. I've got my dry rub seasoning, the same that I mentioned earlier. And I'm just going to go in now and just spread the butter on the foil paper. There's no exact amount, just put a nice little amount on there. That is just to prevent the fish from sticking to the foil paper. So when you're ready to take it out and serve it up on a plate, it just comes off nicely. So we're just going to do a generous coating of that, and then we're going to get our fish and put some of the dry rub on the inside of the fish and coat the outside of the fish as well, and just rub it in. We don't want to put too much, because obviously it just becomes, you know, a bit sickly. I sprinkle some on the foil as well with the butter, just to make sure that, you know, that seasoning is getting there nicely. So guys, I'm just going to literally lightly spread the seasoning inside the fish and on the outside of the fish. I use a teaspoon to do all of it. So that is to show you how little you need to actually get all of it coated. And then just rub it in everywhere. Just make sure that the seasoning is not just concentrated in one place, it's actually all over. Then we're going to get our veggies and stuff the fish. So I'm just going to go in with some vegetable in the fish. You can put as much or as little as you like. I like to you know, stuff the inside of the fish, and then once I put it down on the foil paper, I put a little bit underneath the fish as well, with a few little pieces of butter, just to make sure that there's enough veggies and it's all steaming through nicely and there's no burning, there's no sticking or anything like that. And then you can put your crackers with the vegetable and the crackers as well underneath the fish. Just readjusting so you guys can see what's going on. So there we go. So you're going to see the process of me stuffing the fish, because I realize that you guys can see. I'm just going to use my hands, guys. At the end of the day, don't worry too much about the vegetable, because all of it will be used in the fish, guys. So you don't need to worry about any sort of cross-contamination or anything. Obviously, once you finish, you know, with one fish, wash off your hands, dry your hands, and then start with the next one. Because yeah, what we don't want is for the butter and just about everything else, our counters and everything, to have fish all over it. So we just make sure we wash our hands in between so that we don't have that problem. You'll actually see me like disappearing from the fish and going and washing my hands in the video. So that's the fish. I've stuffed the vegetables on the inside. So guys, that's all the seasoning from earlier, all the carrots, the okra, thyme, the cabbage, Scotch bonnet, onion, garlic, all of that is just in there, just doing its goodness. And guys, you can literally freestyle it however you want. You don't have to use the vegetables that I've used. You can go in and put in some pumpkin, you can use some squash, you can use whatever you want. You can use potatoes, for goodness sake. It is totally up to you guys. It's, you know, everyone's taste is different, everyone prefers different things. You know, the flavors that work for me might not work for you, but I would definitely say give this combination a try. You won't regret it. And even if you don't like the vegetables, but you just want the taste of it to, you know, get through to the fish, you can actually scrape the vegetables out. I'm not going to lie, guys. I actually scraped out some of my veggies and left it on my plate. I'm terrible like that. But I did eat all my fish and I did eat my crackers. I had some of the veggies. So there you go. You see me just tucking my crackers nicely underneath the fish, guys. I think I put 3 crackers for each fish. Yeah, so there you see me washing my hands after I have finished with that fish. And then I'm just going to go in and get it ready, nice and cozy in the foil so it can go outside on the grill. You guys, what happened to me that day with the grill was just not funny. So for whatever reason, the coal just would not light. And then it was windy and raining as well. Oh my gosh, we'll get into that. We will get into that. So I'm just putting some extra butter, like I said earlier, along the crackers and the vegetable on the outside of the fish so that they can cook through nicely and won't stick as well. I'm just going to wash off my hands because who wants butter all over their foil? We're not trying to get any fish or butter or anything like that dripping through to the grill. We don't want that extra work to be doing, guys. So let's just tuck and roll this fish. Let's tuck and roll, guys. So I've just brought the 2 ends of the foil up and just folded them over in one direction. And then I'm going to tuck in the sides of the foil, so the top and the bottom of the fish, and then I'm just going to fold that inwards and make sure it's nice and snug. And I'm going to get another piece of foil to secure it, and then we're just going to tuck and roll again. We're just going to tuck and roll. So what I did was I did small pieces and big pieces. The bigger pieces were obviously to cover the fish itself, and then the smaller pieces were just to go over and just make sure that we secure these fishes from leaking everywhere. So just tuck and roll, guys. Tuck and roll. Okay, there we go. Guys, make sure you have something to put the fishes in once you've finished prepping them. Obviously, you know, the outside of the foil is clean and everything, but we just want to make sure that we secure these things properly. So I've got my Pyrex dish, and once I've finished with them, I set them aside in there. Now we are all done. They're all wrapped up and ready to go, like beautiful little parcels. And we're gonna go and fight with this grill. Oh my gosh, the grill is ready. You can see some steam coming out there. But guys, let me tell you. So I had to finish these fishes in the oven because this grill with the rain, you can see the floor's wet, and yeah, you can see that the shade of light outside, it wasn't too nice, so you know the day was foul. Yeah, so I did what best I could. So I started them on the grill and they cooked through a majority of the way, and then I had to put them in the oven for a further 10 minutes. But this literally is what they looked like when they were done. So you can see that I did some work on the grill now. I did some work on the grill. Give me that. Give your girl that credit. So I'm just going to open up the fishes, the little parcels, give you a little sneak peek of what's going on inside. And then we're going to see the finished results. Okay. Guys, if you enjoyed this video and you like learning cooking tutorials with me, please subscribe, turn on your notifications and share these videos with people so they can learn to cook too. Okay. Thank you for watching if you've made it this far, guys. Oh, guys, that was hot, okay? That was hot. You can see me like moving my fingers back like, oh, I ain't trying to get burnt. So, yeah, there we go. And guys, these smelled so lovely and they tasted even better. I don't know. Like, I didn't know. I just didn't know. And there we go. So that's 3 of them. The 4th one disappeared because my mum had to go home.